Hey mathematicians, let's do our homework. Okay, so in the front it looks like this. It's actually technically only two problems, but they each have a couple parts. So the whole part 1, A, B, C, D, is all about the inequality t plus 9 is less than or equal to 12. So when I ask you to make a list of solutions for t, the way I do it is I solve the inequality and I isolate t, and then it's easier for me to understand all the things that could be less than or equal to it. So I have t plus 9 is less than or equal to 12. I want t to be alone on the left-hand side of the less than or equal to symbol, so I need to get rid of this plus 9. The opposite of plus 9 is minus 9. I'm going to subtract from both sides. They cancel out and isolate t is less than or equal to, and then I have to solve 12 minus 9 is 3. This makes it a lot easier for me to understand, okay, I'm looking for a list that has anything smaller than t, or it could exactly be, anything smaller than 3, or exactly 3, but nothing bigger. So your list does not need to look like my list. In fact, you're only allowed to use one of the same numbers I am. We're all going to have 3 in our list of possibilities. But maybe I'd say negative 100. That's less than 3. Negative 2. That's less than 3. Negative 3.56 is less than 3. And 0 is less than 3. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possibilities. There's an infinite number, and the only one that you're allowed to have in your list, that I also have in my list, is 3. You need to create your own other 4 that are less than 3. Make a list of 5 non-solutions. That means they can't be the answer for t. So anything that's bigger than 3 would be a non-solution, because it would be like, nope, that's not right. So again, your list is not allowed to look exactly like mine. I'm going to say, okay, the obvious 4, that's bigger than 3. 3.0001, that's bigger than 3. 100 is bigger than 3. 2 million is bigger than 3. So that's 4 numbers. I need a 5th number. 7 is bigger than 3. Your list needs to have 5 numbers that are also bigger than 3, greater than 3, but shouldn't look exactly like mine. You need to think of your own. Write an inequality that represents all the possible solutions for t. We already did that. That's the solution. Ta-da! And finally, graph all the solutions for t on the number line below. So we need to put a circle on 3. Here's 0, 1, 2, 3. And based on this or equal to, it's actually going to be a closed circle, so I'm going to shade it in. I already know my non-solutions are 4, so I should not be going in the direction of 4. And I know 0 is a solution because I'm just picking numbers that are on the number line that I wrote in parts A and B. So my arrow should be starting at my circle, going all the way to the end of the number line, put a point on it. Ta-da! That is how I graph my solution. Technically, it's how I graph my solution set, because a solution implies there's only one answer, and we know there are infinite answers that could be t. So number 2, same idea, just a different problem. Step 1, which is also really step 3 for part C, so you might as well just do it right here. You need to isolate y. Get rid of this plus 4. And that's going to help you make your list of things that could be y and things that could not be y for A and B. You're going to have to think about what kind of circle you'll put on, I don't actually know what number yet because it's not going to be on 10 and it's not going to be on 4. You have to be graphing your solution set when y is isolated, and you haven't done that yet. So don't put a circle on either 10 or 4. First, you need to isolate y, and then you can find your solution set. On the back, you don't even have to do any isolating. This side is already isolated for you. You're literally just graphing them. So, for example, I already have my solution set here. It's going to be a circle on 3. Based on the factors no or equal to line, it's going to be an open circle. And I'm going to test 0 and 5. Is 5 less than 3? No. Is 0 less than 3? Yes. So my arrow should be going this way. These should be getting pretty familiar. So no math, just testing, and that's your scratch work. your circle, whether it's open or closed, and your arrow. You cannot graph a solution set to an inequality without the arrow. If you just put a circle, then you're graphing the answer to an equation. All right, so most of them look like this, where you have the solution set and you just need to graph it. And then at the bottom, it's actually backwards. You have the graph and you need to write the problem that made you that graph, or the solution set. So let's do number 8. I see a -2. I'm just going to make up the variable x. And I see a closed circle, so I know it's going to have an or equal to symbol under it. Now I just need to figure out, is it less than or equal to or greater than or equal to? And the way I do that, I choose a number. I'm choosing a number that my arrow goes through. You see this darker line right here? My arrow is going that way. So I'm going to choose 0. 0 is what compared to -2? Is it greater or is it less than? If 0 is hard for you to compare to a negative, then choose one of these positive numbers. 5. 5 is greater than or less than -2. It's actually greater than, but we know since it's a closed circle, it needs to be greater than or equal to. But 5 should not actually be a part of your answer because we just picked that randomly. The way you write it is x greater than or equal to -2. The only reason -2 gets to be in our problem is because that's where the circle is. No other number should be in our answer. Your variable doesn't have to be x, but every single one of your solutions for 7, 8, 9, 10 should include a letter, an inequality symbol, and the number that the circle is on. So it needs 3 parts. If you want to do one more together because I'm feeling nice, let's do number 9. It's an open circle on 1. Just for funsies, I'll choose a new letter, D for Miss Douglas. So I'm either going to have this or this. And the way I pick is I check a random number. Let's pick 4. 4 compared to 1, would I put a greater than or would I put a less than symbol? I would put a greater than symbol because 4 is greater than 1. So I'm going to go put a greater than symbol in my solution set. And that's how I decide. And now we're done with our homework.